Bienvenue to Le Café Craft. Today is part number 4, the Avery envelope. Before we get into anything, I want to sincerely apologize to all of you guys who decided they're not gonna bother with the eyelet because I realized I didn't cover that at all. So, if you're not doing the eyelet, and you're doing the whole reinforcers, pretty much the steps are the same in the sense that you are gonna cut, your board and you're not gonna make the holes. You're gonna cut your boards, you're gonna do your pockets and this and that. Then you're gonna do like we already did. You're gonna take your spine, which is why it's so much easier if it's not glued in. You're gonna take your spine, you're gonna see where your first set of holes are. You're gonna mark them down, right? Just the same that we did for the eyelet. Then you're gonna take your hole reinforcers, flying hole reinforcers, and you put them, or you use those if you're using those. I mean, whatever you're using, right? And you're gonna glue them where they need to be glued. Then and only then, you're gonna punch away. Now, another thing is if you're not using that thing, which, a quarter and a click, I'm still laughing about that. But anyway, if you're not using this, if you're using your regular hole puncher, right? So now, where do I start? As I did before, take a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, whatever, a piece of something, right? Then see do your holes wherever that is. How do you do holes? Like I said, it's just gonna bleep all of that. Okay, you do your hole, right? And then you see where the hole is on your, I'm going to call that, that's not the spine, that's what I'm talking about. On your board, I'm call that a board, on your page, right? Like this one is too far. So you do it again, a little bit closer, like so. And then you put it on your page. And then where you see it's right, when you have it right, okay, keep this and then mark down the spot on every single one of the hole you have to punch, because it's going to make your life so much easier. Because if you don't have that thing, right, and then you see me going like, oh, boom, it's here, boom, it's here. Well, if you don't have it, it's not cool for me not to tell you. So I want to be cool. So this is what happened. Take a strip, figure out when you have it right, then keep it, and then keep, marking where your hole should be. You're not punching your hole before you're putting those things in, right? And the truth of the matter is, put them on the other side too, because it looks pretty cool. And as I said, you can hang things in and everything. So that's one thing I wanted to clarify. And again, I do apologize, okay? Because I finished the whole thing and I said, wait a second. Whoever is not fighting eyelets, well, here you go. So that's your answer to that. So we have this done. The envelope is done, whichever envelope you did. You got your front cover, back cover. Maybe you did something with it or not. Don't cover the back cover, okay? Because we're gonna put something here, so don't even bother with that. That's why it doesn't pay to go ahead and do all kind of things, right? Right. So you got your spine, cool. And we're gonna do the Avery envelope. Let's do it. The Avery envelope. I'm giving them so much advertisement right now. Okay, you're gonna need one of your page. Not that you're gonna use it, it's gonna be for measurement. Okay? Because you're gonna want it to be as deep as your page is, right? Because it is gonna be attached the same way. So you don't want it to be over. So you do either the same, it doesn't matter. Don't go over. You want to make it shorter, you can, but don't go over the width of your page. So you can use that as a guide to see where you're gonna cut the envelope. If you don't have an Avery envelope, we're gonna make one following this, because this is gonna take like 2 seconds. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say before we get into the everything. Thank you to all subscribers. Oh my gosh, you guys blow my mind away. It's just like every second of the day, I got like one more. I'm like, yeah. All right, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. It makes me feel so good. You have no idea. Because sometimes I feel like I'm a salmon. I'm just going upstream for who knows what. Anyway, so that. Patricia the Salmon. I gotta tell you something. I don't know if I got numbers, but I sure have quality. Man, you guys are so witty and funny, and you make all kind of cool comments, and I just love it. I just love it. You are awesome. And I mean, it needed like a few minutes to address this. Every envelope. Okay, so here we go. You figure out the width of this. You do a little bit shorter if you want to, no biggie. As usual, we are not measuring anything, and maybe I should, right? But you know, okay, here, so we gotta do about here, right? Like a little bit in, okay. And I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna line this on number 10. Number 10, where are you? Right here. See, this is my problem. If I do that, it doesn't even look straight to me, but I mean 10 is 10, right? So it should be straight. Okay. I know, I could zip it thing and that. You know what? Why should I? If we can make it complicated, why should we make it simple? It's not the truth. Okay, and I'm just gonna slice right through that thing. Let me make sure there's nothing in it. It's like, oh, cool. You just cut your whole supply of something in half. All right, make sure there's nothing in it. And I mean, if you give it a second, we're going to do it with a file folder, okay? All right, you keep that because we keep everything. Okay. So now you do have a half every envelope. You take this out. Okay, this is when you need a fish knife. If nobody has a fish knife, get a fish knife. Those things are so useful because they're wide, they're flat, they pretty much can unglue everything there is. Okay, and then you're gonna take that flap out. Out with the flap. All right, better not mess up too much with this every envelope because that's the only one I have. All right, so then we're gonna take this thing off as well. Oh, and I don't know if you're aware of the story. This is not a butter knife. This is a fish knife. It's extremely flat and thin and wide. Okay. I mean, there's one video I went over that, but anyway, just saying. All right. So now, if everybody goes good, everything goes good, you have this, and you have this, this, and that. And as you notice, it's a brown color, which is so cool. So you flip it over. Yay! You cover your inside while it's not put back together. And you're about done here, okay? So you flip it over. Bam, bam. Just like that. So whoever's got an Avery envelope is about done, okay? You got your Avery envelope the other way around, right? You're gonna cover this. You're not covering this. You're not covering that because this is gonna be like this. So we don't care. you're gonna cover this. You have to leave this being able to fold. So you're gonna cover all the way to here. Let me see. Okay, you're gonna cover all the way to here, and you're gonna cover all the way to there, right? I mean, use paper, because at this point, this is thick. You're gonna put cardstock on top of it. I mean, I put cardstock inside, but you know, on the front here, use paper, because then this is gonna be not even manageable, because they're very strong to start with. If you put cardstock, it's pretty much indestructible. Okay, so this you're gonna take a bone folder of some kind. Sorry about that, I shake the whole thing. And then, you know, like really press it down, right? Same thing for the sides. Then you cover it. So I mean, whatever covering you want to do. So this one I did, as I say, some cardstock inside. I mean, pretty plain and simple. And then I had a little bit of fun with the front, right? And then when you close it, it just goes right in. Done. That's it. It's as easy as that, believe it or not. Okay? Then you do have to punch your holes, all right? And put your, if you're not doing the eyelet, you're gonna have to do the same thing. I almost forget the no eyelet crew here. You're gonna have to do the same thing, which means you're gonna punch the holes according to the second spine in the middle, right? Like about here or so, okay? You're gonna put your little tabs here, 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 there. You're just gonna glue them really good. Then you punch your holes. Yes, yes. Now, because we have one wide open, I say we make one out of a folder for anybody who doesn't have an Avery envelope, right? All right, fake Avery envelope from a file folder. You take your file folder, you take your page, any page of your Lapbook. All right, first thing you do is you take your page, don't worry about that. Take a folder like so, right? You take your page, which is the width of your Lapbook. You put it at the fold, like so. And then you trace the width of your envelope, okay? Because it cannot be bigger than your page. Same size, but not bigger. Once you've done that, this is the width of your page from the fold. You cut. So whatever your width is, that's what you do. Keep this because we keep everything. Now, looking at your folder from this side, you get here about, in my case, I got about 7 inches. You want the flap, which is on the top part here, to go at least 3/4 down. In this case, it will be 4.5. You're gonna have to figure out your 3/4 of whatever width you have, right? Right. And then you cut accordingly. You totally keep this. So when you're facing it, you got your big rectangle here. This is the width of your page. You got your flap, which is about 3/4 down, right? Right. You're gonna measure from both ends 1 inch on both sides, right? Right. At the fold, gonna take your folder. At the fold, you're gonna cut from the end to the 1-inch mark, like so. No further than that on both sides. Okay, you cut 1 inch on both sides at the fold. You take your ruler, you line up on your line, and you score and fold that on both sides. If we do it step by step, we should be okay by the end, hopefully. Because I already wasted a few folders. Well, it's better I've, waste my folder than you waste your folders. All right, pitch in the middle. Pitch in the middle. All right. So again, facing with the big rectangle down, you got your 2 flaps over here. Right. Your 1 inch you carry all the way to the top, right? Okay, you got your 1 inch here as well, right? On both sides. So you have that line going all the way to the top. We're gonna call it the outside line. You're gonna measure a 1/2 inch on both sides of this line. If you put the flap, maybe you get a better visual. From that line, that 1 inch line, you're gonna mark 1/2 inch on both sides. Same thing from the top, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And you're gonna mark that line, right? That line right there, 1/2 inch. Right here, you got a 1/2 inch. See, it says 1/2 inch. And you go from here to there. You do the same thing on the other side. That's what we're gonna call the inside line. All right? On the outside line, from the fold up, you're gonna measure 3/4 of an inch and make a mark right here. 3/4 of an inch up on your outside line, right? 3/4 of an inch right here. And you're gonna trace, you're just gonna trace that little rectangle, okay? So you're gonna line up on both sides, but you're only gonna trace here. You don't have to go all the way across. All right, now we got that, right? And I think now we're ready to cut the flap. So what you're gonna do, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go from that corner right here, this one, to here, right? That corner to this corner. That corner to this corner. Yes. Yes. And then you're gonna cut straight all the way to the top. But before you do that, okay, on this inside line, you're gonna mark a 1/2 inch from the top, a 1/2 inch down. You make a mark. Inside line from the top, a 1/2 inch, and you make a mark. Then you're gonna measure, because I don't know, your dimension, but no matter what dimension you have, your dimension, you're gonna measure the center between those 2 inside lines. You measure your center. In my case, it was 4 1/4, which is here, and it says middle, right? The middle of from here to here, your inside line, the middle. Then you're gonna measure 1 inch on both sides of that middle. 1 inch here, 1 inch there. Yes. And now we cut, right? So you're gonna cut all the way up to your 1/2 inch down here. You see where you mark your 1/2 inch? Right here on your inside line, right here. You're gonna cut from here to there, and from here to there. Look at it before you do it. You're gonna cut your inside line all the way to your 1/2 inch mark. Same thing on the other side. Alright, this way is better. No, because you don't want to cut here, so you're still gonna have to do it like that. I don't like it. I think I can do it like this, and then, okay, I'm gonna cut down all the way to where we made the angle. Yes? Yes, so you have this, right? Now, this one, or if you can see your mark, you can also cut that. It doesn't really matter. I wish it'd be... Okay. Now, your 1/2 inch mark right here, you're gonna trace from your 1 inch away from the middle to your 1/2 inch here, like so, and then from your 1 inch away from the middle to your 1/2 inch here, you got your mark. And then you cut that. So kind of cut it in an angle, like so. I mean, I sure hope you're cutting yours way better than I'm cutting mine, but that's for demonstration purpose, so we're not gonna get even, you know. Now, if you want to make it a little bit better, if you get round corner rounders, punchers, go right ahead. I'm just gonna round here like so. Okay, and you have your Avery envelope. So now this part that we cut previously up the top, right? This is what you're gonna use to do your bottom flap. Now, in order to measure your bottom flap, you're gonna have to make sure you get enough inside that the folder is gonna, not too much, but enough. So that's I think that's about right. I think it should be like about 1/2 inch, because it seems to me like every envelope, everything is 1/2 inch. Yep. So it's about 1/2 inch in from the side here. All right. Let me do this properly. It is gonna be about there. In this specific case, what do I have? I have 3 1/4. Okay, I think it's gonna be about that. When you line up, you need to have enough to go in, I mean to go out and go in, and then it kind of stays in. Sorry. Enough that you get, you know, that the flap gets trapped in. So you also need to have it a little bit in, not too much, but a little bit in, So let's say you have a 1/4 inch on this end. So that's gonna be 1/2 inch together. So 1/4 inch here. Let me do this first and then adjust. It's gonna be less folder to move around. Alright, and you want to have a 1/4 inch on this side. Okay, so I need to get a 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, it's white on white, it's not easy. So I got a 1/4 inch here, right? From, let me put something darker under here. So from the side of your flap, you want to have your bottom flap pop out a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch on this side, and then from that side a 1/4 inch. It's gonna be right here. I'm sorry, this is what they make you learn geometry in school. It's like and yes, it is a total aggravation. So if you wanna use the real Avery envelope, I won't blame you. And now the height, we said we want it to be, I don't even remember what we said, but we need enough to cover, and we say about 1/2 inch. That should be about here. Yes. So here. I'm sorry, it's not that I'm making it up as it goes, but it's almost like I'm making it up as it goes. Alright, done with that. And then you're gonna have your cover like so, right? And I think you should have enough to get it in and out. And then when it gets in, because it's gonna get punched here. I'm sorry, this is not straight, but you know, I know you make it straight. I went a little bit fast to show that. So, if you're doing the eyelet, you take your second spine, you know, help yourself, because there's no reason. Put paper clip to hold it, right? Then, depending where you want to put it, kind of in, you know, in the middle of your spine, then mark your holes, right? And then punch, 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 and then eyelet, 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 eyelet. If wherever your holes are not like exactly where you want them and you want more here, you can always add holes and eyelets, okay? Nobody stop you to do that. The main thing is to have some holes and eyelet matching your spine so you can attach the envelope. Guys, is plenty of work, all right? You get to cover it, you get to make it pretty, you get to make the holes, you get to put eyelet if you need to, you get to put your little thing here if you're not doing the eyelet, and then you be good. And then this part of page 2 will be done, right? Next one is gonna be the mystery envelope, all right? The download, again, I thought I would just give you a bunch of old checks. I love those things, right? And then a bunch of old envelope. So those are pretty cool because I already sent you with, I don't know, one of the downloads. And I'm just already lost track of that. But I sent this old envelope, right? So you can put it on cardstock, or you can put it on paper, or you can put it on whatever you want. But the thing is of course you can cut it exactly right and paste it. But what you can also do is leave some space, right? Leave some space around, and then you can put it on something thicker, or I don't know, whatever. But you see what I'm getting on with that, right? And then make a pocket out of it if you want to, or just glue that on a piece of craft paper, and then you have the back of your envelope. I mean, it's as easy as that, right? And then you get, hey, it does look like an old envelope, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay, I wanted to go through that. The small envelope that I'm gonna put, which are like old envelope, you can do the same thing and, have yourself old envelope that you can put here and there. I know you know how to do all that stuff, but I figure, what does it take? Another minute out of those lengthy video? Alright, so in order to get that, you have to look in the description box below. It says the email address, and you said Lapbook Part 4, Avery. Just put Avery. I mean, you don't have to write envelope, right? And then I know exactly what to send you. Cool? Cool. Subscribes. If you do not subscribe, you're not gonna have any download. I mean, why would you do that, right? It's free. Just subscribe. You get it. Cool, cool. I love you guys. It's exciting. We're almost there. Thank you and bye.